Speedrun. We are starting from around 1100. Let's see how far we can get today. I will explain the key ideas, common mistakes, and share my thinking as we go. So I hope this will be interesting, instructive, and fun. All right, let's start. Welcome. E4, E5. Okay. Oh, Scotch game. Let's take here. Bishop C5. If knight takes here, we can play Queen F6, and I think it's still the best choice. Yes. There is no time for Knight B5 because we can take here between, and if this happens, then there is checkmate. So the knight will be in trap, and these pawns are too weak. We can use this same idea also in this position. We don't have to worry about this or this move, so we can just develop the knight. Okay, F4, very active play in Scotch. This is of course quite typical, but as far as I know, this is too much already. Of course, E5 looks very threatening, and if we go here, there might be some problems with our queen, but we can naturally play D6. It prevents E5, and then bishop E3 is hanging in many lines. So let's play D6. And it also covers this bishop, so I think white might be too extended already. Let's see. The main idea is, of course, castling here, and then maybe knight G6 or play D5. F5 is sometimes an idea if we have queen on G6, but now I think he just plundered a pawn. There's two defenders and we have three attackers, so it's very good idea to count those attackers and defenders. Okay, there is check in the end of the line, but we can bring our knight back, or yeah, we have to take this with bishop, I guess, that we have chance to move the knight back. Yeah, and now the other knight is covering C6, so there is no bishop B5 ideas after queen check. Now we can trade or put this back. I don't know which one is the better, but let's see. I think we can play this way. Now at least queen P2 might be a threat. Of course we can castle. Usually it's the best idea. It prevents bishop D4 ideas. Now I think we can take this pawn. It's not too risky because we can return, but now we have to take with the knight to prevent bishop D4. If white tries to cut this road, we can, let's see, maybe queen F6 or queen C3. I don't know which one, but let's put it here. Yeah, we had queen C3, or we could just take here, bishop E6 and rook D8. This rook wasn't hanging Okay, let's develop the bishop. Maybe we trade those. Okay. Now we might end up in opposite color of bishops, but and then f5. So okay, have to speed up to avoid problems. Okay, bishop d4 and queen here looks very threatening, but I think we can just play queen here and f6, because e4 is then hanging, and we can also create some attack. Their g2 is weak spot. If pawn takes, we can play queen here. It's here, then we are ready for rook d8. If we play this first, then queen goes here, and we can't play queen g5. Usually it's very good idea to think those move orders. Sometimes it's very important to play okay, I think this is winning now. So there is no bishop takes a7. It's also very risky looking, because after b6 the bishop might get in trouble. Okay, I think the most important positional factor was here, when I played queen here first and not bishop, not rook d8. I would like to do both, but the order is very important. When I play this one, I can create a strong threat, and then I can just bring rook in play. But if I do this first, then queen g4, and I don't have that kind of option anymore. Maybe there are still other ideas. Maybe I can play something like queen b4, but it's already... Oh yeah, there is no e6, I guess, because I can take here. But of course, this looks much easier. Okay, let's play more. I think we had a rematch option, but okay, he's already playing a new game. Okay, let's play c5 this time. Okay, knight c6. At this level, d4 open Sicilian is not so common than these kind of closed lines with bishop c4 or bishop b5 and so on. But there is also some downsides for white, because black usually can play e6 d5 without knowing any theory, and if d4 happens, then we are just in normal positions. Okay, I played a6 to prevent bishop b5, because after d5 this bishop might get in trouble. So let's play d5 here. I think white should trade here, otherwise black might have too much space, but let's see. If I play d4, then this diagonal is actually open, so maybe just bishop e7. And of course, bishop g5 might be something with the idea of the attack to this pawn. So let's play h6. It's useful, and I don't have to castle yet, but now I can do it. Knight d4 is a good move in Sicilian. usually if queen goes to f3. Now I think we are ready for b5, b4 ideas. And this move is too slow. There was no point to do that. Maybe white should take here and try to play something like, okay, there was no chance to do this because knight d4. Okay, this idea looks like a plan for white, because now d5 is actually dropping. The idea is to trade this knight, and then there's 3 attackers. We have only 2 after this queen trade, after this knight trade. Okay, what we can do here? If you want to think and give your answer in chat, you can do so, or you can just think along with me. But I think this is critical moment. Should I trade? Should I play d4? Should I trade knights first, or what should I do? I think I have a good plan which is related to this bishop, and this is very common plan in this kind of positions. Maybe you can use this idea in your games as well. I will play c4 here, and after that bishop is out of play, and I think there is no good way to continue. This trade is not harmful for black, and if pawn takes, we can take with this pawn. It's very hard to play something like b3 and get this bishop out. Okay, knight d4 looks very natural now. Queen has to retreat, and then bishop b7, for example. And now we are winning few tempos. We can just take here, but it releases this bishop, so maybe just knight c6. And I try to demonstrate that this bishop is a big problem if white can't do these moves. If bishop goes to b1, then there is a chance to get this bishop in play, but usually it takes so much time that we can launch attack on king's side, or attack c2, or use d file, e file, and so on. Okay, b2 is hanging, and it's too much because now we can just take here. We can trade queens and take another pawn. Okay, this is actually... Okay, we should do this, I guess. Because if we take here, then bishop takes here and rook takes b7. So I didn't see that tactics beforehand. And that was a mistake from my side, but sometimes those tactics are hard to find in time trouble, or overall in Blitz time control. The idea is to take here now. I think I can do that because rook covers the bishop, and now I can just bring my rook here. Oh, there might be some tactical ideas with this bishop c5. Bishop c5. Okay, he didn't do that. Okay, let's put the bishop here. It's a very practical way to play. Now we don't have any problems with bishop, and this is still out of play. c3 is, of course, very natural idea, but he didn't do that. Usually it's a good idea to exchange pieces. And now I will attack here. Okay, let's take this with the bishop. Okay. Let's play more. Hello, good morning. How are you? B4. Okay, now we see. Let's play E5. Bullish opening, or is it orangutan? I have heard that name. I think computer says that it's good idea to take b4 and give e5 pawn, but if you are not sure, usually it's good idea to keep center pawns, and this trade is not necessary in this kind of position. We can just play this way. Of course, b4 might be useful now when white plays something like this, but still black's position is at least fine. Okay, knight tries to jump here to trade this bishop. Now we can do this, and then bishop f8. It's very common idea. Okay, now we can trade bishops here, but also e4 looks quite interesting. If we trade here and knight d7, or maybe light squares are getting weak, so maybe the best idea is to... actually, this is not so easy. Okay, I don't want to give this development move, so maybe I just play queen c8 and try to get my queen on b7. Okay, if he goes here, then we could trade or play something like c6. Now I think my queen is well placed, and his queen is not. Usually knight, this kind of fianchetto knight is not well placed, and we can use that somehow later. I don't know yet how, but as we can see, there's only 2 squares where it can go, and both are not those good squares. Maybe d5. We can take more space because now we have already all pieces in play. c6 or c5. Maybe c6 with the idea to play a5 here. It breaks this position. Okay, sacrificing a pawn without purpose. I think so. We can just take here and use this file. It's better to put rook here first and then queen. If we put queen, then this rook is out of play, and now we can do something else. Maybe doubling rooks. It's very natural. Aha, okay. Now it blocks this bishop. Let's... Okay. I don't know. Should I do this or not? Maybe just something useful. Okay, now we can do this with tempo. Oh, that was a blunder. But of course we were pawn up, so no problems. And these pieces are very awkwardly placed, so no worries. But of course I should cover that first, because knight c5 was very good move after that. Okay, I think we can take this pawn and take this later. c4, we can put our bishop back to d6. Now c3 is already hanging. Okay, let's take that one. And now some tactics, I guess. If rook c1, we have knight e2, and both are hanging. It's a good idea to trade pieces in same move, and I don't want to give this e5. And the rest is matter of technique. Knight d3 I will take here. Okay, maybe okay, we don't have to hurry. Just everything is under control, and maybe b5, or we can take more pawns if we want. Again, bishop d8 if knight jumps to d5. e4, b3, and so on. This covers b4. Of course, he can take it, but then we have quite easy win. In time trouble, usually it's a good idea to just push those pawns, because then you are having chance to promote, and usually it's the best idea in end games. Oh, I could just promote it. Okay, let's do it now. And checkmate will follow in few moves. Okay, let's play more. Oh, he didn't want to play. Okay, d4. Okay, we have already 17 votes. There is a poll in the chat. Would you like to see, would you like to watch tomorrow's tournament? I think I can play that tournament. It's the first time I will play that one. Interesting tournament where there is titled players, also those top guns like Hikaru and Carson and so on. Okay, this is a bit different than usually. Maybe I didn't play the best way, because now bishop is on g7, not on e7. I think I can't attack on king's side, but this minority attack usually is the it's a good idea, or maybe you can say that it's main idea in these positions, but where to put this knight? Okay, knight is e2 is very natural. Knight f3, of course. I don't know yet, but I think I should play this first and then b4. Okay, I play knight f3 here. The downside to have bishop here is that he can't trade it. He can trade these bishops if I play bishop f4. But let's see, there is also some upsides. C5, then bishop diagonal is open. That might be an idea for black. If I play b4, a5, b5, c5 might be a choice for black. So maybe I have to start with knight a4 and get my knight to c5. Yes, okay, this looks a bit strange. Okay, maybe I just play this first. It's a very useful move because then I can keep the bishop. For example, if I play bishop here, these squares might be important squares in some point. Now I think I take this diagonal. And now if knight jumps here, I can just retreat with my bishop to h2, and then these squares gives some play later. So that's why h3 is important move. I think c5 is not a good idea here, because then d5 might get weak. I can take and put my rook on d1. But of course, this is main idea for black in some point. And I think I should prevent that. Maybe rook d1. In this Karspad structure, e5, e4 is sometimes good move for white, but not now. That would be a very risky decision because d4 is then hanging. But let's see, knight c4 might be something. I will put my rook on d1 just to make sure that there's no c5. Then I can bring my bishop here if needed, but I think there's no sacrificing ideas at the moment. But I don't want to rush with this plan because knight c4 might be something. And that's why I think I need knight e5 or something like that. Maybe knight d2 to prevent knight c4. Okay, let's see. Maybe I will play queen b3 or queen e2. I'm not sure, but I have to speed up now, actually. Maybe b3 to prevent this one. It wasn't the best, but I'm in time trouble. So have to play something, and now I have to clear this diagonal beforehand, not to let any tactics. Okay, there is already some tactics. So I will move this knight somewhere, maybe knight e5. If he takes, I can take with bishop, and then I can bring it back. I don't want to trade here. At least not now. There's no time for this. So queen has to retreat, and maybe I can play a4, a5. If pawn comes here, then maybe b4 later. But I think why black has played very well here. I can't see clear plan for white. Now knight can jump back. I have b5, but still black is very much in the game. c5, now I can take and bring my knight to d4. And now we can see that this is the plan. In these kind of positions, I try to create weakness here. If pawn takes here, then there is weakness on d5, and if c5 I can take, and d5 might get weak. I think these are not getting anything from queen side yet, king side yet. I mean, now there is a weak pawn, and I go after it with queen c6. I can trade queens. Usually it's a good idea, and it's very practical because I'm down on time. Now rook here, and this will drop. And as we can see, this diagonal is very important because there is no counter chances. I have to bring my... Okay, let's see. I put the rook here. And then there's this idea, but of course I can trade and take here. That this looks winning for white. Okay, let's push the pawn. Oh, there was bishop was hanging. Have to be more careful. Okay, I try to bring my knight here, and then a6 is covered by that knight. Not anymore. Okay, he has opposite color of bishops, but I think it's not helping much because a7 is so strong. But let's see. Time trouble is of course an issue here. Try to get my bishop. Okay. How to break this position? Okay. I won on time, but okay, maybe the easiest idea is to put rook on b8. I think he can't really stop it. But this game was a good example why it's not so good idea to put bishop on g7. There was nothing in this game, and this diagonal was much more important. Of course, he could do something better. I think when I played b4, b5, knight here might be a choice, but and also maybe a5 in the right moment to prevent b4, but I think the game went still quite logically. Now we have English. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, that b3 wasn't necessary, but it's the one way to play the position, so that was my choice, and probably, I don't know, is it the best choice, but it was at least an option. Okay, d5, maybe it will go here if I give a chance for black to do so. So maybe I should take here and try to put pressure on d5, and then d pawn might get weak. And of course, when d4 happens, then this diagonal is open, and there might be chances to create strong play. Actually, I think I don't have to prevent d4. I can jump here, and then knight can jump c5, bishop f4, and so on. But if black can do something like this, then there might be some problems for white. But let's see, maybe bishop f4 is the most active way to play here. It prevents e5, and if knight jumps here, then bishop g5 or bishop d2 are good options. Knight is out of play on h5. Okay, queen hits here, but that looks very risky decision. Of course, we can just cover this pawn, and in this game I might do that. But in my own games, I would probably play something like knight here, rook c1 to get some chance to get benefits from this queen move. I think it's too early. Okay, queen d2 looks also, it's a decent choice, I guess. Even sacrificing this pawn might be playable. Okay, let's play queen d2. After the game, we can check that maybe knight a4 was the best, because it gives quick counterplay, and if queen goes back, then we are just we just won tempo. And if queen goes here, maybe rook c5 or that kind of ideas are good for white. And also queen trade is usually good for white. We will have knight on c5, and then white pieces are playing better together than black pieces. Okay, d4 now. The diagonal is open, but we have to move the knight. If we go here, then black will trade it, and then this diagonal is blocked. But now knight a4 with the idea of knight c5. Should be good. Maybe queen d2 is not the best square for the okay, let's trade these, not to allow knight c3. And if bishop takes here, knight g5, then there's already good counterplay. These kind of moves are sometimes very risky if knight can land on c3, because it's very strong outpost. But now we can just trade it and take the pawn, I guess, because black's pieces are not ready for this kind of play. This is a good intermediate move. If we take here first, then it's good for black. Okay, rook c1 looks very natural. Maybe queen trade. Of course, black's king is a bit weak now, but there's no bishop, so it's not so easy to attack. But this kind of plans are good work in these positions. Okay, this diagonal is now closed, but we have something else. We have very strong center, and in chess, usually it's a good idea to know when to make some changes. You can change advantage to other advantage, and oh, okay, he dropped the queen, but anyway, white is pawn up and very strong center, good piece play, and so on. Let's see. I think there was that moment when queen b6 was played. Okay, it seems that d4 is actually good for black according to the computer. Might be, because if knight can jump here, it hits here, and then we don't have chance to play knight c5 after b6 and bishop b7. Then this bishop neutralizes white's bishop, and that's why white's plan is not the best. So bishop f4 wasn't the best move here, but after queen b6, I think even okay. Computer says that knight a4, rook c1 are equally good. Queen d2 might be too slow according to the computer, but it's quite easy. It leads quite easy position. Now this is well, it is defended by this queen, and then we can trade bishops and get queen here and attack, or just develop, get our knight to c5 and so on. But of course, if you play against computer, it's not so easy. Hello, welcome. Okay, let's move on. Oh, by the way, there is a poll in the chat. If you want to vote, feel free to vote. It seems that we have 27 votes already, and that Title Thursday tournament might be an interesting option. I can't stream that every week, but maybe every second week. But okay, let's play more now. Okay, let's play e5. King's Gambit. I think this is the first King's Gambit in our speed run. It's very dangerous opening, because usually if you just forget to develop, then white might have great attack. d5 is a good idea to make sure that you can develop these pieces quickly enough. But if you want to play some tricky ideas, you can start with knight c6, because if pawn takes here, then you can give check and then take this one, but I think it doesn't work in this level. Pawn takes f4 is of course a choice, but let's play d5 here. I think this line is not those lines what white is looking for with King's Gambit. This is the main line. But I think we can play this without knowing much. We can just take here, put our bishop here, c6 in the right moment. Oh, this is some gambit also. I don't know. Maybe I have seen this actually, but I can't remember now. Anyway, It seems to me that we are ready for knight f6, for example, and we can take here. But maybe even better choice is to take here and play knight f6, because queen is too early in the game. And if this trade happens, we can just trade queens, and we are having some opening advantage maybe. Knight f6, e5, knight e4, and then bishop c5. I don't know is this theory or not, but looks very natural. And now knight jumps to e4. Of course, we can play knight c6 between, but I think bishop b5 might be a choice for white, and then we don't have c5 option. Now it's clear that bishop c5 is very big threat. Knight f2, for example, after bishop c5. And I did this because queen goes to d4. I didn't calculate more than knight f6, so just basic principles, and we can have some opening advantage, and white couldn't get standard king's gambit position. Aha, okay, this looks very slow. Okay, of course it prevents queen h4, but it's only a one idea. Now I think it's much better to play bishop c5 than play c5, because the development is the most important factor. Knight f2 might be already kind of winning move, but let's play bishop d7 and then c6, and then bishop is hanging, knight f2 is coming. Maybe we can play b5 first, and queen goes here. Okay, let's play this one. There's no way to defend this rook, but I think if white could somehow prevent this plan, we could just castle and play f6, and these open files after trade could give very good chances for black in any case. This is Blitz. I would like to play rapid speedrun, but there is different time control, so we are playing this speedrun with Blitz time control, and then later I will play another with rapid time control, but I can't change it because there is different ratings. So, but in this level, opponents are playing already quite quickly, and I don't have so much time to explain those ideas. So I think it would be better to have rapid time control. Of course, he can take here now, but then queen will attack to rook. Can I rescue this knight? I don't think so, but maybe I will just play something. Oh, time trouble already. Let's do this. Okay, d5 is hanging, but then we will have open files. Oh, this is hanging as well. So, okay, this is getting tricky now. He can take here, g6. It seems to me that the position is almost playable for white. So I think he's playing very well. Now I will take and I try to get my bishop in play. Okay, I won that one. Let's see what is the evaluation of the computer here. D4, the main idea is to take on D4. And after this, after E5, we can play C5, and then we have space advantage, and it's not a good idea for white to go in this line. And if queen takes, then queen is vulnerable in the center. We can just play knight f6, e4, e5, and then knight jumps here. Actually, in e4, e5 openings, if you can do something like knight f6, d5, e5, and knight e4, it usually works if you can follow with bishop c5, or maybe sometimes even f5, like in those Vienna positions, for example. Okay, let's play more. My peak rating is 2497, but I have had 2499.2 during the tournament. Right now I have 2490, so not too far from 2500. Okay, let's play e4. Okay, now we have Caro-Kann. Let's play e5. This structure is very common in chess, so it's this is also a way to learn how to play these structures. There's many ways, of course. Okay, this is a bit surprising that we see this kind of moves at this level. Still, because c3 is winning tempo, and it seems to me that bishop doesn't go any good place after bishop b4, so we just won a tempo. Now we can play this idea. We have time because the center is closed. Of course, we could castle, but when black plays something like this, we can bring our knight here. It hits here, so we are winning tempo basically every time, because I think black doesn't want to let this happen. Of course, now there is knight on e7, but still, if knight goes somewhere, we can take on f5. Maybe c5 is not an option, because then there is b4. So this bishop b4 a5 was clearly a wrong idea. Now b4 is already decisive, I guess. Okay, maybe rook c8 gives some hope, because then... Okay, what is this? I can just take this. Now we could trade more, or we can castle, but this looks even better. The idea is to take here and then take this bishop, or we can take this immediately. If h6, for example, happens, then we can have very strong knight on d6. In these structures, usually knight on d6 is very strong. Okay, he played that way. Maybe the best idea is to make this check, because now there's no castling right anymore, and we can just bring our bishop back. Okay, this was clearly a blunder, but in those cases when black plays king f8, then this rook is out of play and we can open the center. Of course, we are so much up in material at the moment that we can do almost whatever we want to do, but those are positional ideas which are important in positions where there is no so much material advantage. Okay, rook goes here, and then black is still kicking. Okay, maybe queen here and a pawn here. That looks the easiest way to make progress. I play rapid chess on Friday. I will play rapid chess, and also on Mondays nowadays I play rapid chess. More time to think and explain ideas. But tomorrow we have playing with viewers stream, so then we play Blitz 3+2. Let's make this Luft for the king, and then try to have 7th rank. It's not so easy. Oh well, maybe I go here and put my rook on b6. Actually, it's quite surprising that black is still holding this. Maybe his skills are those kind of defensive skills. He knows how to defend the position, but of course I'm queen up, so it's only a matter of time when I can break this position open. Knight e6 will follow. Queen g7. I think I can remove this. There is no any other options. Okay, let's play more. Hi, welcome. Let's play e4 this time. Okay, now we have open Sicilian. What is the line? Do we have Najdorf or okay, dragon? Bishop e3. Now this will be a mistake, a blunder, because bishop b5 drops the bishop knight. We can just take it, so need to play bishop c7. But now we have standard position. White tries to create checkmate on king's side, and black tries to do the same on queen's side. Okay, A6 is too slow. I think knight e5, bishop d7, rook c8, and then knight c4 are those main ideas, but usually white is having some edge because this attack is usually quicker. Knight jumps b4. Maybe the idea is to play queen here. Of course, I think I can just push because it's not too dangerous. I could do this as well, but I will play king b1 because usually this move is very good in many positions where white castle's long. It gives some extra support and there's no tactics on this diagonal. Now we can create strong blockade here, a3 or just bishop b5, knight here, and we don't have to attack immediately. Of course, we could do that, but I think it's even better to play a3 or just bishop b5. Okay, which one to choose? I think both are good for white. Maybe even something like knight here, and try to get full control on these light squares. Okay, now bishop b5 looks very strong. We could take here, but it's not so easy. What happens after knight b5 and queen tries to get here? Of course, we could play knight b5, but this is much easier. And when knight jumps here, we can just create this blockade, and it's very hard to attack on queen side, and then we can just free roll on king side. Here, okay, we don't have to take this immediately. We can just keep this position this way, and there is no way to open up these files. H5, for example, and then when H file is open, queen can enter H2 and then H7. Of course, this knight might jump on H5 if we play G5 immediately. So the best order is to play H5 and then G5. If pawn takes, of course, usually black doesn't take there, but we can just put these rooks this way and open, play bishop h6, or there might be already some sacrificing ideas. Okay, now I see that there's some tactics already, maybe knight e6. I think this is winning already, but I try to demonstrate this positional plan, so I just play h5. Usually it's not a good idea to put queen and bishop on same diagonal if there's some pieces between. So if you think this kind of ideas, be aware that there might be some tactics. Of course, bishop takes g4 looks quite threatening now. Okay, but still we can just play this way. Maybe knight f5 after, oh, we can just take here and knight f5. I think it's winning. Okay, there's queen takes h5. So taking here first. I mean, knight f5 first. Looks good. If he takes here with the bishop, we can take this with the queen. And bishop is hanging. There's lots of things which are hanging, actually. I can take here. He can take. Then, okay, let's take here. Bishop d4. Rook takes g7. Many ways to win. This might be the easiest. Now we have this file open, and as we can see, there's nothing going on queen side. Okay, that was it. Oh, we have many things in chat. Oh, those questions about tournaments, I don't know yet. Am I going to play any soon? But I will play some online tournaments. Okay, let's play more. Let's play French defense this time. Maybe b4. No. Okay, now we have normal French. Queen b6, bishop d7, rook c8, knight here and here. Very standard play. Have to be careful not to let this happen in those. I mean, when we play knight e7, probably this might be already good for white. Yeah, because then there's bishop a3, I mean e3, and then queen goes here. White will win some tempos, but now we can take this with the bishop and b4. Maybe bishop goes here, and this one. Okay. The idea behind this move might be something like knight b5. Usually it's not a good idea to play c4 in this kind of positions, because then we might have some space on queen side, but then there is no counterplay, and white can just put this knight somewhere and push f4, f5. So, okay, let's play this. It's very natural. Usually it's very useful as well. Now knight covers d4. I think we can play knight here. If bishop takes, then g file is open. That might be the best idea in this position, but that might be also quite hard to play at this level. So maybe I just take here and put my knight on f5. White might have some advantage, but not too much. Position is playable. For black, maybe knight here and then c4 is an option for black, and bishop b5 ideas as well. Maybe even knight a7. We don't have to develop these pieces immediately. I'm just thinking that maybe here there's no b4. Yeah, and now bishop b5 looks quite strong. Yeah. Because this is the best minor piece in these positions, and this is the worst. So usually it's a good idea to trade those, but I don't think we don't have to hurry. Just knight e7, or now it's better to put knight here. This diagonal keeps open and we are going to f5 anyway. So let's play this way. Now we take with the queen, maybe even with the pawn. Okay, this might be actually even better. We can play b4 and try to make some pressure on a file, but this is easier and we will do this. Don't take double pawns without good reason. There might be good reason in this position, but I'm not sure. And now we can just retreat to avoid any kind of tactics. We have good pieces and enough space for our minor pieces, so everything is fine. Usually it helps black if black can trade one minor piece, because 3 pieces usually have enough squares in these structures, but if there is 4 minor pieces, then there might be some problems because there is no enough squares for those minor pieces. Okay, g4, then we have knight h4, so everything is well here. Let's play h6, and then queen takes here. Again, after g4, we have knight f5. And this is a long-term plan. We use c file, try to make pressure on d4, and maybe advance with those pawns, but it's not so clear should we do that or not. Now I don't want to take here, because taking with f pawn, it's easier to defend e3 than this d4. Okay, now he tries to win on time, but it's not the best idea. But anyway, here d4 was already very weak. If white plays something like knight c2, then we can probably... Okay, what is the position? Okay. And now we use the c file. Maybe b5. Okay, let's play h5. It makes harder to create any counter chances. We might play d4, but I don't want to... Oh, actually, knight f6. This looks quite threatening. I have to go here to prevent knight f6. Okay, I made... okay, I have this idea, but it's quite dangerous. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I'm in trouble. Okay. I can trade this. Oh, actually, I can't. King f3. I'm losing. Oh, I have rook here, but then there's other ideas. Okay, this... Okay, now everything is again in control, but I'm going to lose this pawn, and this wasn't my plan, of course. Now I have to find a way to win this game again. Where I am here. Okay. Somehow I'm playing very badly. I might lose this one. Okay. Where to go? Try to get my knight on g2. Okay, white could play something like king b4. This was maybe now it's good for black because I will win this pawn, but of course I was losing in one moment. But here this board went wrong, and somehow I didn't find any good ways to prevent this idea. I mean, the idea for white is to play rook here, and this is very dangerous plan. I saw that one, but I couldn't find way to prevent that after g4. And maybe, of course, with the more time, I could find probably g5, and then my knight will take this one. But okay, that was close. This was so much winning that I didn't pay too much attention how to do best moves here. Of course, king here is much more safe than put rook here or something like that. h5 is actually quite dangerous, but I didn't see this plan, and I think he played very well. If we compare here his rating and how he played this one. And anyway, okay, let's play more. d4. Okay, I think this is the first time we see this kind of opening mistake here. If you want to think what is the wrong in black's defense, you can think or give your answer in the chat if you want. But this is clearly a mistake, opening mistake. Much better is e6, c6, or even d takes c4. I will make my move in 10 seconds. Okay, here after knight f6 we can take here, and the black has to take with the queen or knight, and then we have two center pawns and the black has only one. So after e6 white can take black can take with the pawn, or also again after c6. So don't play knight f6 after c4. Now if queen takes, we have knight c3, and then e4, bishop here, a normal development with the good center, and if knight jumps here, the same idea. Okay, now we can't play e4 immediately, but we can... Oh, maybe f3, e4 is not working because it's so slow in this case, but we can play bishop d2, for example, or just knight f3. Let's play... I'm just thinking that if we play knight f3, knight e4, then we have to trade. But after bishop d2, we don't have to trade. And now we are ready for e4. We can do this immediately. I think so, because then we have f3, e4, c5. Maybe a3 is good enough, because then we can play b4. Maybe it's easier to handle. Or just knight f3. Okay, let's play e4. It looks good. Okay, this hits here and here, but it's very risky decision to take this one. So I will sack the pawn, and I think black will lose at least few tempis, or even something more. If I start with knight b5, is there any moves left? Okay, I will do this. It looks strong. And then knight b5, just to demonstrate that this is very risky. Okay, maybe queen e7, and then if I play bishop b4, okay, let's play queen c2. Now it hits here, and if that comes, then e5, I have knight d6. He can't take here because c8 is hanging. And now knight d5, knight d6. King has to go somewhere, knight g5, and everything will drop. And this is only because black took that pawn. Of course, the opening wasn't the best, but this kind of things happens easily if you are too greedy. Okay, rook here. I can take this with the queen. This kind of knight is usually much better than 3 points. Usually, okay, it depends, but of course in this position it gives very good support to these pieces, and creates tactics and freezes black's position. By the way, these kind of pawn structures are usually good for white. I mean, when black has something like knight d5 and these pawns, and then white has knight d6 and e5, d4. Knight d6 is usually better than knight d5. In chess, you can't usually have a choice to take only those benefits. You have to give something to your opponent, and this kind of plan usually leads good position for white. We have a better knight, and black has good knight, but it's the only thing in this position. So we can give something and then just play the better position. Okay, now this leads to checkmate, but it was already winning for white. Here, I think, according to the computer, taking on b2 is already losing move. But let's see. Yeah, knight b5 or rook b1, or there's many options, but c6 is the maybe the most decisive, because then I have knight d6 and knight e5. So knight here, and maybe black can still hold few more moves. But after this, I think e5 is already winning on spot. At least it's very hard to find any practical plans after this. Okay, let's play more. d5. Now we play Queen's Gambit. a3 prevents bishop b4, but of course this is very slow plan. White doesn't need this move in every opening line, so maybe black will have good prospects in some line, but I don't know actually how to use this. Maybe we are going to play c5 now. If pawn takes, bishop takes c3, and it breaks white's position. These are not in play, and that's why it's usually a good idea to open up the center. Our king is in safe, but this is not. But if we take here immediately, then bishop goes here, and white will have few more moves to castle, and I think there's enough time to do that. But now something like taking here, knight c6 are good for black, and this looks very dangerous for white because e file is already open. This is the threat, of course. But still, knight c6 with the idea of the take here, maybe bishop g4. How to defend this pawn? Well, it's not so easy. Okay, maybe bishop g4. And if pawn takes here, then we can take here. And these pawns are so weak. In Nimzo-Indian defense, this kind of moves happens quite often. I think I should do that if there's nothing better, but maybe d4 with knight takes d4 is something. Maybe it's not. Okay, let's take here. It's positional play. Now I don't want to trade this bishop anymore. I will do this and queen a5. If knight jumps here, maybe knight a5, it covers this, and then rook takes c5. This is very common idea in Nimzo-Indian, and this is almost same. Now c3 is a target. This helps to defend d5, I think so. Of course, bishop here might be something, but we can play rook f6. It defends this, and sometimes it's useful on king's side. Now the plan is to take c5, queen d4, queen e7, taking here b6 and so on. Queen e7 looks very strong. It's better than rook f6 because maybe we need this rook on d file. Now we are ready to take here. Oh, actually knight d4, queen d4. If we take here immediately, then this happens, but okay, now there's other threats. Knight can jump here and take this one, or we can take here. Queen e5 is tricky choice. I think I have to take this one, otherwise queen can take here, and then I have to trade queens, and then my rook is hanging. Or should I just play rook c6 and take this then? Because then he have to move the rook. Okay, that looks even better. Now rook is hanging, and then we have time to take this one. And rook is ready for action on queen side. Maybe queen f6. It helps to coordinate this center action. I think so. Maybe queen f6 now. And I will take this later. Should I take with rook or not? Maybe with the pawn, because then f5, and there is no good diagonal. I think this knight is better than bishop. Aha, okay. Maybe this was a mistake. Now I have quite easy plan. f5. Of course, this rook f7 after rook e7. Very strong knight. I just prevent action. And now king goes here. We can defend the 7th rank, and then we go here. Okay, maybe king here first. We can trade those rooks, and then c4 is even more weak. And if rook goes here, then we just activate this rook. We can take here and knight d3. Okay, that might be the easiest way to play. Or maybe just here, because we can take c5 and defend this and take here. And this covers b7. Aha, okay, now we have to take. But okay. It seems to me that oh, this is hanging. I couldn't see that one, but this position is so winning that I think there is no problems at all. Checkmate will follow in a few moves. Okay. To the next game. Let's play Caro-Kann this time. Okay, knight c3. d5 is still a good option. Bishop b5 is not. We can trade bishops. Usually this is a bad bishop like in French defense because we have to play e6 after d4. That's why bishop d7 and this trade helps black to play. And this is a surprising that in this at this level white still plays this kind of plan because it's quite obvious that it helps black's position. If we think that if we compare those positions where black has bishop on c8 and white has bishop on d3, it's clear that it's white's edge to have those bishops, and now black is having easy game because there is no checkmate ideas. Of course, things can go wrong, and there is still some chances to create play for white because this structure gives some chance for white to put pieces quickly on king's side somehow, because this structure prevents black to get those pieces on king's side, and that is the reason why black has to do something quickly on queen side. Now there is no so many pieces left, so maybe knight f6 is good enough for defending all these plans. Now just rook here, and white can't move this knight, and that is one reason why it's better to put pawns like this and knight goes somewhere like that way, d2, f1, g3, or so on. But here it's already on c3, and it's very hard to prevent b4 action. I think I can do that immediately now, and c2 is dropping. I think there is no any tricks. I can take here and bring my rook back if needed. Of course. Okay, rook b1, knight f6 probably, or I just do this just in case, not to lose in any kind of back rank tactics. There's time to do this. Queen d3, maybe just queen c6, or here I can just play rook c4. Now this knight can't move. We can trade here, of course. We can bring our knight here, or even here. Maybe this one, because we are already on queen side. c4, a4. There might be some plans with this knight. Okay, let's do this. Maybe b3 now. Okay, now we can take with the rook and try to get knight c4. Okay. And if we play queen here, okay, let's do that. There's no back rank problems, so queen b5. And this pawn is already dropping. Also, knight is in trouble if queen goes somewhere like g3, but now it's quite hard to defend this. Maybe rook c3 is still playable, but now we can just use this weak d pawn. And here maybe taking here, because it activates both pieces quite quickly. We can check and put rook here. Yeah, this trade helps black. If we just do something like king here and white king goes here, then actually white might get some chances to save the game. But now it seems to me that there's no good way to meet these plans. Maybe knight d7 or knight c4. Both are fine. If bishop, if rook goes here, then knight d6, and we can take this immediately, or just first check and then rook takes d4. Okay. We can take here. There's spin, and if pawn, we can do this, and then e5. Of course, king f3, but then knight e5. Oh, okay, this works. Okay, let's play more. Okay, French defense. e5 is probably the easiest variation against French. And then c3, and we are not going to trade those bishops. The bishop belongs to d3. But first, maybe a3. That after taking here, there's no knight b4. Actually, I think bishop d3 is the best move here, because if black takes here, knight b4, we can drop back the bishop, knight c3, a3, and after knight c6, we can play bishop d3 later. Bishop e2 is of course an option here. Okay, which one to choose? Maybe just bishop e2. Okay, this knight f5 tries to create pressure on d4, and that is the plan we should prevent somehow. I think a3, b4 with the idea to play bishop e2 is one option, And of course, we can also play bishop e3, queen d2, castling, but then black can trade this bishop with this plan. So it helps black because white has somewhat space advantage. Usually this is not the best square for the knight, and if knight goes here, we can just push h pawn, because then we are winning tempos. Or if black plays h5, then there is a weak pawn. We can play knight g5. So this is not too hard at this level, I think so, because now we have clear plans how to make progress. Maybe h5, and then knight will go here, maybe b4. Okay, let's play b4. It's typical plan. And now if a5, we have b5 and a4 if needed. Any bishop b4 check is nothing. We can just put our king to f1. And now there is no way to open this queen side. We can play a5, a4, and a5, b5. b5, a5 if we want. But let's do this first, because we are sure that knight has to jump to e7. Now we can push h6 or play this one. Let's do this. There's no sacrificing plans, and now we can play this way. If we want, we can trade these bishops. Sometimes we have these kind of positions in Winawer variation, and there h6 is very important move, because now there is square weaknesses, and this plan is very good. Usually it's winning, because when h7 drops, then pawn just promotes in few moves. So okay, now we play g4 first to kick this knight back, and then same idea. And there is nothing black can do. Okay, of course, black can sacrifice a piece here, but white is winning. And now we can see that space advantage is very important. There's 4 minor pieces. They are not doing much, and h7 is already decisive plan for white. Okay, let's take here, and then rook will drop. We will have another queen. Okay. And then, okay, we could just take on f7, but this is also good enough for win. If bishop goes here, we can use this bishop again. It's very useful bishop in this kind of structures where black has many dark square weaknesses. Okay, we can take here immediately or bring queen into action. It's better to bring queen because we can win even more with this way. Okay. Have to be careful not to make stalemates. Okay. Maybe one more today. Let's play e5. Four knights game. Bishop c4 is very common mistake, and also at this level, if you want to think why black can play here typical plan and get good center, what is the best move here? d5, not yet, but the idea is to play d5 soon. So we can take here, and after knight e4, then d5. And here, actually, black is having already small advantage, or maybe it's equal, but white has to play very carefully. Oh, that kind of idea. I think I haven't seen that plan earlier. Okay, but maybe just this one, or should I take the knight? But the knight takes e5. Okay, let's take here, and then we have bishop pair. d5, knight b4, d-pawn is hanging, and then we can just trade everything. I think this is too much. I can just take here, rook e1, bishop e7, and there's time for bishop e7. Let's see, maybe bishop, maybe knight g5 is something. c3, okay, but d3. This is not a real threat, because we can just put our knight to a5. It might look like it's out of play, but b6 and knight c5 later, or c6, this pawn is weak, and maybe c3 is weak as well. At least we can castle here, play bishop e6, f6 or f5. I think white doesn't have enough for the pawn. Okay, now these are hanging, but queen d5, and both knights are hanging. So I think queen d5 is a good option for white, black. And I have to take this knight, otherwise c7 is hanging. There is no rook e1, I think so. f5 at least. Now we develop. It's much better to develop that than defend this pawn with the queen. Maybe c6 is already a threat, because there's a pin. Now we can play bishop d6 as well. It hits here. It's very dangerous threat. But maybe we can start with some other move. Maybe we are not doing that because this looks very good. Okay, let's play a6. Then we have plans with a takes b5, queen d5, bishop here if needed, bishop d7, if knight g5. Strong play in the center. Queen is almost in trap. Queen here, bishop d7. Oh, of course, that one is hanging, so let's do that. Now maybe we just play first this move to provoke f3. Okay, this is also hanging. My idea was to play bishop d7, but of course we take the rook. And then there is a pin again, so we don't have to release this tension yet. Rook e2 is winning because then queen can join into action with the bishop if queen goes here. So we can just take here and here, bishop c5. Quite easy game for black. Okay, now it's checkmate. Okay, I think that was it for today. We got something like 100 points, even more. Tomorrow I will play with viewers, so if you want to challenge me, go ahead. Let's see the poll results. Tomorrow I'm also going to play Title Thursday tournament, and it seems that you would like to see that one. At least we had 44 votes and 61% is saying that yes, I will watch the tournament. Okay, thanks for watching and have a nice day. See you tomorrow.